Hello everyone, welcome to Wings IES JKS. We are back with another 5 questions for the polity component. Let's start with the first question. Question number 1. With reference to the Constitution of India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. No High Court shall have the jurisdiction to declare any central law to be constitutionally invalid. There has been 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act which actually inducted articles Article 131A, Article 226A. Article 131 has given the exclusive jurisdiction to the Supreme Court for the constitutional interpretation of the central laws made by the Parliament, and Article 226 has barred the High Courts from the same. 43rd Constitutional Amendment came after that of 1977, which actually repealed both the Articles 131A and Article 226A. So statement 1 is wrong. Now statement number 2. An amendment to the Constitution of India cannot be called into question by the Supreme Court of India. In 1973 there has been the landmark judgment in the Keshwananda Bharti case versus State of Kerala, in which the Supreme Court itself has said that judicial review is the basic structure of the Constitution, or part of the basic structure of the Constitution. So regarding that, it is also the wrong statement. Supreme Court or the judiciary can interpret about the amendment of the Constitution. So the right answer is answer D, neither 1 nor 2. Moving on to the next question. Question number 2. Which one of the following suggested that the governor should be an eminent person from outside the state and should be a detached figure without intense political links, or should not have been taken part in politics in the recent past? All these recommendations has been made by the Sarkaria Commission of 1983 as well as the Panchi Commission of 2007. Looking at the options, there is a Sarkaria Commission in the options. So Sarkaria Commission is the right answer. Raj Mannar Committee, First Administrative Reforms Commission and National Commission to Review Working of Constitution, they have also given the recommendations regarding the center-state relations, but they were different from the above recommendations. Moving on to the next question. Question number 3. Which of the following are regarded as the main features of the rule of law? Now talking about the rule of law has been given by the Albert Van Dicey, who has been the British jurist, and there were 3 principles regarding the rule of law. The first principle was supremacy of the law, the second was equality before law, and the third was predominance of the legal spirit. The Indian Constitution has borrowed these features from the British Constitution. Let's see the statements of the options. Limitation of powers. So when we talk about the equality before law, there is the limitation of power. This statement is right. Equality before law as one of the major principles of the rule of law, obviously again right. People's responsibility to the government. Actually it is the government's responsibility to the people. So this statement is wrong. Liberty and civil rights, we all know the liberty and the civil rights are being given to the citizens by the law itself. So obviously there is the rule of law. So statement 1, 2 and 4 is right. Let's see the statements. Options 1 and 3, 2. Yes, 1, 2 and 4 statement. Option C is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. Question number 4. Consider the following statements. The Speaker of the Legislative Assembly shall vacate his her office if he or she ceases to be a member of the Assembly. The statement is right as per article number 179A in case of state legislative assemblies. In case of Parliament, there is another article, article number 94A. So the statement is right. Second statement, whenever the Legislative Assembly is dissolved, the Speaker shall vacate his her office immediately. So according to article 179 itself, the Speaker shall not vacate his her office immediately, but immediately before the first meeting of the Legislative Assembly after the dissolution. So only option statement 1 is correct. So the right answer is option A. Moving on to the next question. Question number 5. With reference to the election of the President of India, consider the following statements. The election of the President of India is related to Article 54 and 55. We all know that the election of the President, it is an indirect election based on the proportional representation and it is called as single transferable vote system. Statement 1, the value of the vote of each MLA varies from state to state. The value of the MLA is being calculated by the formula of total population of the state divided by total number of elected MLAs. Total number of elected MLAs of the state legislative assembly divided by 100. So obviously the population of the states vary, and the number of MLAs of the states, it also vary. The highest value is of Uttar Pradesh, which is 208, and the lowest value is of the Sikkim state, which is 7. So the value of each MLA varies from state to state. Obviously it is true, it is right. Next statement, the value of vote of MPs of the Lok Sabha is more than the value of the vote of MPs of the Rajya Sabha. So there is a common formula for the MPs, whether they belong to the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. For the MPs, there is a formula of total value of the votes of the MLAs of all states divided by total number of elected members of the parliament. So the answer is only statement 1 is right, because statement 2 is wrong, because the MPs of the Lok Sabha and the MPs of the Rajya Sabha both have the same value. In the last presidential election, the value of the MPs has been 700. Earlier it was 708, but it got reduced to 700 because there is no assembly, legislative assembly of the Jammu and Kashmir. So the right answer is obviously A. I hope you found these answers informative, and for more such videos do subscribe the channel